Again on a Friday, then Saturday, Sunday. What the fuck? Anybody new? That's the jingle jangle of the Dark Night of the Soul. It comes with a little ringy ding ding. A sad little tune is what I call it. Actually, they usually don't melt together like this, but it's kind of perfect. In order to keep up with me, we're going to continue here with Intro to Tarot, Part 9. But it is going to align with our Friday shadow work. Woo, woo, woo. Which means we're going to take the present, the future, and the past and mix it all together in these cards. In order to keep up with me, you would have to catch Intro to Tarot 1 through 7. And we're going to keep going along. Alright? Alright. With the whole dance and song. Alright. So, in order to fully understand what I was talking about, I posted that my earlier video we talked about astral travel and the unconscious. We've been working on a lot of mind work outside of the cards, outside of the tarot teaching. So, in order to keep up with those, just scroll through my live videos. I do all my videos live. I don't upload videos unless, not usually. So we were talking about mind control and all of that, so we're going to go deeper into the mind. But I had stated that we were going to do this, and then at some point we would face our tower, we would do that, and we're just going to have a Q&A tonight. Well, the tower came between and all of that, and what hit? My car, I started acting a fool. It leads up throughout the week. It's a long story of this fucking car driving me into madness, and so on my way to the spiritual store, it started acting funky. And I'm like, oh, hell no. I was like, alright, turn around. Let me just make it back to the house. And these are those moments, like a tower. Like, it's called, well, for those that don't know, let me just read the definition of this shitty-ass car. But these are those moments that come every Friday, then Saturday, Sunday. What? That's not it. Hold on. The tower. The card is a manifestation of imbalance and surprise disruption, leading ways into new paths. The tower hits us like a sudden change, the collapse of an ideal, a dream, an organization, or relationship that is inevitable due to forces beyond our control. Right? The tower. The tower has fallen. What does that mean? Something's wrong with my fucking car, and, I don't know what's wrong, and it's the end of the world, because who knows how much this is going to cost, and what's broken, and oh my god, it's the end of the world. And I had appointments and shit, and alright. Let me start over. God is challenging me equally on every Friday, and I'm cool, and then I'm not, and then we're cool. And that's it. It's like an endurance test. They just throw shit at you to break you. Why? To break you into your new reality. So in the essence, it's like, are you really going to give a shit about this car? No, I don't give a shit about this car. I'm so irritated with this right now. But in the essence, it's like, most people would panic. You goes into a place of panic and fear. Oh my god, what am I going to do? And I don't have money to fix this, and I don't know what's wrong, and I don't. I seriously do not, and I'm not going to panic about some shit like that. The tower can represent a shattering of ego, so you may be feeling vulnerable and confused. Surrender to its power and accept the huge shift in its awareness that it offers, even if the benefits aren't obvious yet. The upside is the message of release. The walls come tumbling down, and what you build next can have more foundation. Well, we fucked around and found out. In the essence, I was facing this for about 3 weeks. What are you going to do with the car? I wasn't making a decision. So I finally made a decision, and I took it to a mechanic. And the mechanic fucking broke the car more than he fixed it. Now here, let me tell you the whole story. I had to go there to get here. That happened last Monday. I tell this whole story about, maybe it was Sunday. I didn't tell the story till Monday, but it happened on Sunday. No, it happened... yeah, on Sunday, Mother's Day. I spent my whole Mother's Day dealing with this fucking punk-ass mechanic and all this shit. What happened? I knew right away what happened. When he went to put my car back together, he broke something. Right? So when I freaking go to take my car, my radiator's broken, I can't drive away. And I go crazy on this motherfucker, and I tell him, if you don't fucking fix it, I'm not paying you for what you already did, because I'm not paying you for fucking something you broke right now. Fix this now. And I got stranded there, and I had to fix it. Fine. Then come Monday morning, this girl that's supposedly my friend that's always trying to help me out gets in my fucking text messages and was like, you know, tries to charge me saying that they bought a brand new part and put it in there, and she wanted to charge me for the labor. I was like, bitch, he done broke the part to begin with. He went and got a part from the salvage. You weren't even there. I'm not paying for shit. You're a liar. You're all this. Right? So this is all what happened. Now, here's the funny story. This afternoon, 11ish, I'm sitting out there having a cigarette, and there's the guy that I give cigarettes to, and he buys them for $1. And I see him looking at his car, and so I just stuck a cigarette out my window, and he's like, what's going on? And I asked him, what's up with your car? He's like, oh, it's electrical, but don't worry about it, I'm a mechanic. I was like, yeah, let me tell you what happened with my car. And I tell him, and I pop the lid, and he's like, yeah, he broke that shit. And I was like, I know. He's like, oh, what an idiot. I was like, I know, but I'm afraid that he fucking broke something else if he did that. He's like, what an idiot. Is what we're saying in Spanish, right? Que mamón, right? Fucking stop pendejo, ese puto. That's the way. Anyway, so we're talking about it. And so then I haven't really drove the car since I got it. I just went to, you know, the little stores and stuff around, like a couple blocks here, a couple blocks there. Today I get in the car to head out, you know, into town to go to the spiritual store. And I'm down about, you know, no, this is what happens. I get in my car and I go to pick up my son. Why? Oh, man. My daughter has a dance, right? This is yesterday's video. This fucking bitch. I swear to God. She has a dance, and she tells me that she's going to ditch her dance. And my son's like, yeah, pick me up. So then this morning, she gets all dressed up, and she's all excited about her dance, but my son still wants me to pick him up. So I got to go pick him up. I go to pick him up, but I forgot my damn wallet, and I can't get the kid without an ID. They got to know it's me. So I have to come back and get him. So then I've got to take him with me. And we drive just like, you know, I don't know, 2 miles, and it starts acting funny. Like something like it's not getting enough gas or something, shifting weird. It's shifting weird after I go over 45 miles an hour. I don't know if it's you know what I mean? If it's just a spark plug and it's misfiring. I don't know if he didn't put in enough, he forgot to put in oil or something. I don't know what he didn't do, but it started acting funny. So I just turned that bitch around and came back. And I'm like, fuck. Like, I lifted the lid, nothing was smoking, nothing like that. But at the same time, I don't fucking know. But the guy had just shown me videos, dude. He was showing me how he's a mechanic, and he showed me how he was taking apart engines and transmissions, right? So I'm already surrounded by mechanics that can help me out of it, but you have to understand something about me. My biggest fear that I execute regularly is my car. You won't really understand it, but you have to know from the beginning. I'm always freaking out. So I told everyone I had transmission problems, and this is exactly what happened, and that's what I remembered. I was driving down the street for all of a sudden it started like shifting funny. So I told everyone I had transmission problems, right? And I just didn't really drive it. I told people I couldn't drive far. I couldn't drive to that side of town. I don't want to break my car. I don't know what's wrong with my car. And I just kept telling everyone that, right? Well, then all of a sudden, like seriously, like 6 months later, I'm like, my spirit's like, you need to go to Oklahoma. And I don't know if the car can make it. I'm literally telling my viewers, like, seriously, I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going to take it town by town and take the side roads, and it might take me fucking 4 days on a fucking, you know what I mean, on a fucking Oregon Trail journey, is what I say, right? And actually, this guy comes and he checks my car. He puts some oil in it, and he's like, there's nothing wrong with your car. And, all right, I've never drove it till this guy said it, so I jump in the car and I start heading. I'm into Kansas, went through Kansas. We're in fucking Oklahoma. There was nothing wrong with my car. There was never nothing wrong with my car, bro. I've done this before. And it did, and I said it because of the same thing it's doing right now, and I'm not sure why it's doing it. It's kind of like misfiring or putting. But last time I did it, I was like, my car's broken, and I can't drive it, and I just, after that, it was all over. It was the end of the world, and, you know, fuck my life, right? Now, after seeing, like, that's how I felt the other day, dude. So I asked the dude, this is such a true story. It's like experience makes you wiser, so you don't be so panicky. You gotta understand, though, as a single mom that just hits the road with their kids and the car and all of our belongings and shit, you know, I have every reason that I should be very suspicious and very cautious about the vehicle that I'm driving. And I'd be not knowing shit about this car. I'm just driving it. Till they tell me, bitch, you can't drive those tires, or bitch, you can't do this, or bitch, this is, like, you should have seen my brakes. They were like, I've never seen anything like this in my entire career. Then they had some broken bar in there, which is basically the alignment bar. And so, like, I'm not connected to the alignment. The wheels are just moving, and that's why they keep popping. I mean, seriously, this is so twisted. Why? Because my father is a master mechanic, and I know nothing about that world. So anyways, I have all these deep-rooted fears when it comes to my car, but this time, I didn't panic. When I asked these dudes for a ride to go pick up my car, this is a true story. There was nothing wrong with my car other than the fact I noticed that I was giving it a lot of antifreeze. Like, I had to keep refilling the reservoir of antifreeze. So then I decided to have it looked at. That's where all this fucking started. Right? When I go to pick up the car, I turn it on and it's busting antifreeze out of the radiator, which that was not happening when I dropped the car off. So I knew he had broke that shit, bro, and I made him fix that shit. But after I realized that, I was like, fuck, what else did he fucking break, bastard? Like, because he took my whole car apart and to fix these couple of parts. I'm like, oh, man, fuck. Luckily, there's guys all over me, which are my Venezuelan, blood relatives, that are fixing cars. So it's like, for once in my life, I don't really have to panic. But it was a conscious reaction, and that's what I say, is you go into fight or flight. Things trigger you where you go into an old version of you, a childlike version of you, and you fucking panic. And that's what I did do on that motherfucker when my shit was... I went crazy on him. And that's why his girlfriend came back and was like, you can't be acting like that, bitch. He broke my car, bitch. He broke my car. I didn't say it, but that's exactly what I said to him in Spanish in his fucking face. I demasculized both of them. They stood there, and that's what I told my vecino, my neighbor. I was like, dude, he stood there like a pendejo. Está mirando como ¿qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? Yo no fue. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? You did this. He's just looking like he didn't know what it was. But he had already prepped me because he told me to keep an eye out to see if anything was leaking. He knew he had fucked it up. He just didn't know it was that fucked up. And now he's got, you done fucked up now. And so, that's my tower. Ta-da! And that happened. And what does that lead to? Well, we're going to pick off where we left off, which is the Five of Swords. Defeat. Surrender. It's a state of mind. Now, going back to all these videos that I explained to everybody, and all my mystical teachings of the subconscious lately, we've been talking about all kinds of conscious and subconscious subjects. These cards, again, are a travel through your healing, and you re-travel it. So, as I have mastered every card in this book, I still have to relive it, and that's what it is to become a master alchemist, is to revisit, old wounds, past memories, past fears, past triggers, and be stronger. Meaning they just keep getting thrown at you. You know what I mean? Until you can overcome it and not act a fool. And that's what this is all about, is being unbothered. Trials and tribulations are going to continue to come at us, and we're supposed to be like Neo, where like the shit just don't even faze us. Like, we're just dodging bullets. Like, whatever. I saw you coming. Like, I saw you coming. In the essence of, I knew this was going to happen. I was like, oh, here's my tower. Here's my tower. And, and then what was the kickstart? I showed up and they're like, you don't have your ID. You need to go back. Oh, here's an inconvenience. Once those inconveniences start, start your engines. You're about to hit a wall. It's okay. I have mine on a schedule. They're lovely. They come on a Friday then. I warned all my peoples that we would have one, and when I found it, I would tell you. So welcome to the jungle. Now, the Five of Swords. On page 1, 18, and 19. Alright. The Five of Swords reveals ongoing stress, continually challenges to your position, often defeat. The traditional meaning is battle and loss. It often shows family disputes, conflict with managers, or being a victim of the system. In relationships, the five predicts tension, but all is not lost. You may not win the battle, but you can recover and walk away with your self-respect, provided you make a gracious exit at the time. There's a danger here that you will continue the fight even when the battle is over, regardless of the Okay, hold on. Oh, that's unrelated to any of this. Huh, okay. Regardless of the provocation, deal with your anger and disappointment, and it's done. And that's it too. Is like I could get really mad right now and really upset and really freaked out and put a lot and channel this into a lot of anger and frustration and upset. In the essence, I had intentions, bro. I was going to do something. It's a beautiful day. I packed up my son. I had this intention. We were going to get him lunch. I was going to go to the spiritual store, grab a couple of things, you know what I mean, come back, and then I had a dentist appointment at 4:30. I had all of this. I had plans. My plans got ruined by something that's out of my control, which is my car, which I know is related to another person that was just fucking with my car. It didn't do this before. I can get very fucking heated right now. I can get more heated than whatever's going on with my car. And I can blow my lid and act a fucking fool. I can just hold it together and, you know what I mean, accept that this is under my control. God's working. This is what he does. I'm going to sit with this and find out what the best solution is. And the ultimate question is, if it's not something serious, which it probably isn't, am I going to put money into this car? Because that was the ultimate decision. God wants me to get rid of my fucking car. Do I hold on to it just to keep it going until he gets me another car? And that was the decision. I decided to fix the car instead of releasing the car, and this is where it's got me. Did I make a bad decision? I would say I fucked around and found out. And that's what it is. I'll have someone check in, and if we're facing a serious decision, that's what I said too. I was like, for right now, I'm just going to let it sit, and we'll start with the basics that everyone does. Let's check the fluids. Let's go from there. And in essence, I don't know. It did something like this, and it never did it again. So it could just be a misfire or something. It could be a million and trillion things. I'm not a fucking engineer, and I don't know how it all works. But that's what it is. It's like, am I gonna act like I always act when this shit happens? Because this shit's always gonna happen, bro. Unless I get a brand new car, and even then, eventually I'm gonna face car issues. Am I gonna act up every time the car acts up? And how I'm gonna act every time that happens? It sounds so pathetic to you, but in essence, this is a huge fear for me. It'll be all determining factors, like I can't go places, I can't do it, I can't, you know what I mean? I don't want to ruin my car, it's a big deal. And that's why, when this happened, and it's probably to date, when I was in Oklahoma, and Mr. Plum's, I got pulled over, and they took my car. And that also could be my own, God's protection. Because right now they took over, I think it was something like 1,800 cars, 1,800 citations last month they were just doing for registration, and my registration is expired. And I don't have insurance, so I could lose my car at any time. I'm already riding dirty. I'm just being all transparency, bro. So that's where it is do I put money into this car? Do I put all of this money into this car? Or do I let it go and go a different way of life until I can, until God provides me a way to get a new car? And you get a brand new car! I mean, maybe. That's just it, and I don't know. And I have to be okay with the unknown and the possibility of something better. Because if I'm not thinking about something better, then this is all going to be bad. This just means badness. It's just bad. Okay. So, thinking of an argument, think of an argument and write about your feelings. If you won, did you hurt the other person's feelings? If you lost, could it have been better to walk away? Oh, okay, and that's another thing I had mentioned this morning. I had a Karen attitude, and I talked to the highest director, and they have been all kinds of city workers and all kinds of workers today. I finally talked to another guy today, and he said, I think we got it. He said, what's happening is, I don't know, but he said, I think they got it. They've been here all day working on our elevators because I made a phone call this morning. I made a phone call to the highest level, and they've been working on that. Now, going back to how I handled, that's just it. Is like you look at, there's always confrontation and situations that are going to arise. Do you rise to the occasion, or do you, you know what I mean? How is your your reflex to this? How do you flex on them? Because ultimately, that's what's happening, you know? If I look back at all of this, it's like, you know, I had a confrontation with Sophie about her shit. How I handled it, that was superb. You know what I mean? I had a confrontation with him. How I handled it, not so well, but still completely, and that's why I said, forgive me, I'm crazy and all women are, but if you don't, that's okay, because you guys made a mistake and I didn't know what I was going to do. And that's what it was. It's like, I mean, I acted a fool, but I got it done. Do you know what I mean? They fixed it. It had to, if I wouldn't have acted that way, I would have gotten fucked over, right? So then this morning, as angry as I was, I acted appropriately and I got shit done. And that's it right now. It's like me acting up is not going to get shit done, dude. It's going to get me freaked out. I'm going to go into a trance of, oh my God, and panic and sweating and crying and, oh my God, I don't have enough money for this and I don't know what I'm doing. Fuck it. For real, bro. For real. My kids are out of school in 5 fucking days. I have the leg power with these fucking stairs to walk to any of the fucking stores need be. I got the arm strength from carrying all this shit up these fucking stairs that I can carry all this shit, you know, if I have to go to the stores and walk my ass around, whatever the case may be. I can, you know what I mean? There's plenty of people that live without cars. Thank God it's not winter. Shit. But in the essence, it's like, you know, just, oof. But if you lost, could it have been better to walk away? And that's it too, is like, do you have to keep fighting? Confidence is high in the aftermath of a victorious outcome, but it is easy to become cocky. Go ahead and gloat here to help get some of that out of your system. And that's what I just said. It's like, you know what I mean? I gloated a little bit earlier. It's like, let me explain. I kind of acted foolish. I had a foolish attitude, but this is how I directed it. In the sense of, I'm so fucking tired of these fucking stairs. I'm so fucking tired of these fucking stairs. So then what? I called someone, and it got done. And I didn't act foolish. I mean, my approach to the people is like, who do I need to call, and what kind of magic do I need to do to get these fucking... No, I said, who do I need to put magic on to get these elevators done? And they laughed. I was like, it's not funny. I'm a very magical being. All I need is a name. Tell me what I gotta do. They're like, it's the city. Okay. I'm gonna hunt this city down. I'm gonna find that man. And the guy came out, he's like, when he told me that the people had already showed up, I was like, dude, I'm that bitch. I've always been that bitch. All I need is a name. He said, I'm not going to call you that bitch. I was like, no, I'm that bitch, bro. All I need is a name. In the essence, it's like, so, you know, I don't mind. And I know how to, you know what I mean? I left a very proper voicemail that got through, and they sent an email, and that got through. You know what I mean? Reverse 5 shows unnecessary conflict. You could become caught in the middle of another person's fight. You may be injured or be the injured party through no fault of your own. Whoever initiates it has a selfish agenda, and the drama may be due to ego. The card suggests finding an opportunity to expose the unfairness and to shift the balance of power. How does it feel to be caught in someone else's drama? You know, I gotta be honest. That's what's in those fucking messages from Sophie. There's like paragraph after paragraph of it. And I'm not getting caught up in it. I'm not really like, I just be in it and be like, damn, I'm just all in some bullshit. God set me up. He put me in some bullshit. In essence, I'll be honest with you. I had no intentions of going to the spiritual store till he gave me the freaking vision to do so. Right? He set me up. He drove me straight into it just to drive me straight here. Drive me mad is what he's doing. He's trying to. And in essence, just so I can heal some shit. It's like you still have an ability, you still get triggered. You still act up when things, you know what I mean? They know my weaknesses. Who? The devil? No. God. He's trying to, you know what I mean, sharpen my edges. I'm edgy around the corners. He's trying to sharpen that. It's like you don't have to always... You'll have to learn this the hard way, as your actions are so rippling. You know what I mean? You're not a victim to it. You're in control of it. You're just riding a wave, right? It's how you ride this wave. And that's what I say is like, whatever happened between me and my fucking mechanic, that's his wave, bro. That's his frequency. That's how they ride life. That's them. I just got caught in their fucking wave, bro. And I fucking stopped the fucking waters. The waters went still. In the sense of, I expose you of this chaos that you're creating right here. And that's all I did. So going back to Sophie and her life, she came into my life, bro. Actually, God took me and, all this shit, and he forces me to, go into people's lives and shit. They teach me about myself, yes. But it's like, this is your wave, bro. This is your circus. This is your chaos. God put me in this shit. I'm getting the fuck out of it the second he says so. I'm just here to monitor it and tell you what your fucking, what your frequency is, what your fucking problem is, what your issue is, what your vibe is. And I'm vibing out of this shit. Ultimately, you don't know, I don't have problems. I have challenges that I overcome regularly, but y'all got ongoing problems that you don't deal with. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. It's a state of mind. Alright, let's move on. So, conflict and defeat. After you get over this conflict and defeat, you literally just transition into another state of being. Right? So this is, the Six of Swords suggests moving on from a situation or a relationship to enjoy a period of peace and harmony. Whether that is physically or mentally, you take a more detached approach. And that's it. I'm not even going to fight this battle right now, bro. It's not even real. Whatever it was, my car. This isn't even a battle to get upset about right now. I'm just going to sail away and go enjoy the rest of my day. I have too much shit to do today. In the essence, it's like it's not. No. If it was able to make it back, that means I could still make it around to my little stores and I don't need to, I'll find a new dentist. Like, seriously. Ultimately, this isn't, it's not necessarily, I just don't feel like getting all consumed with a problem. Sometimes you have to deal with the problem straight on, right? This is serious. I'm on the side of the road. I cannot get out of this problem. I must call for help or walk away from this problem. You know what I mean? Save myself before this thing burns on the side of the road. Something like that, right? What could I do? In the event of an emergency, I could put down my pride and call someone from the past. But I must understand that what that comes with, I'm reopening a wound, and I'm going to get hurt again, messing with someone from the past. My best bet is to hope on the future that God will send somebody to my rescue. I know that sounds weird, but it is the truth, and every man knows it too. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't really turn to people. And it's always some stranger that's always willing to come out and help you out, bro. I've seen it, even with men. I watched a man do it. It was a beautiful night. I watched it 2 in one night. Not too far from here. I was in Lone Tree when it happened. No, Centennial. Yeah, same thing. DTC. I watched it, dude. This guy paid for this other guy's, what was it? His tobacco, his chewing tobacco. He didn't have, his card wouldn't work, so the guy behind him paid for him. Earlier that day, I was at the laundromat, the same laundromat I go to every day. And I watched a man take his Adidas off and his Adidas All-Stars and give them to a homeless man in front of the laundromat. And he continued to do his laundry and just went home. It's strangers, bro. You can't ask your family because you know they'll say no. But God sends people that can't say no. And you didn't even ask. They're beautiful, bro. They're amazing. What is it? It's a Christ consciousness. They just feel driven. Something tells them. My favorite one is the last one that happened to me was, I didn't have no money. I was just sitting next to my car. This man just walked by, asked me if I was doing okay, and I was like, yeah. And he just asked me, can I give you some money? He didn't ask me if I needed some. He said, can I give you some? I said, that sure would help. He just gave me $40. Meaning he just looked at my situation that she looks like she could use some help. I'm just going to give her some money. Let me make sure this doesn't offend her. And that's where it is. Some people want to be like, can I pay for your coffee? Can I buy your gas? It happened to me the other day. It was the weirdest thing. It never happened to me before. Our first time at Chick-fil-A. Well, not really. It was I don't know. It was our first time buying milkshakes, maybe. We went to buy milkshakes at Chick-fil-A like a couple weeks ago, and the people in front of us just paid for us. I didn't realize. I grabbed it and pulled away. I was in such shock that I know that the proper thing to do was to pay for the next person, but I was in such shock that it had happened that I didn't follow the, the pay it forward. I fucked up the whole thing. But it was my first time. I'll do it next time. It was my first time. It was amazing. I just want you to understand that. This opportunity to rest and recharge may lead to explore new environments or make a spiritual discovery. In work, this 6 can show travel, and in a relationship, it commonly shows 2 people spending time apart. More negatively, the interpretation in a relationship ending. On a more spiritual note, the card can simply show taking a break, a possible travel from work or your usual environment. Well, that's funny. I never saw this as the breakup card. It's poetic because this is where I came to, but this is where I started. I was in a 4 of Swords. I just made it back to a 6 of Swords. I didn't make it too far. Is there a toxic person or situation in your life right now? Write about how you can take a mental break from them and include some travel plans while you're at it. When are you coming? I said June 11th, remember? The full moon in Sagittarius. It should probably hit you a couple days before that. Which is what? On a moon day, you'll be on your mind and emotions. And then by Wednesday, with the power of Mercury and shit, you're going to be like, yup, let's do it. And that's what I said in my interview. They asked if there was any days. I was like, I'm going to need June 14th through the 18th off, please and thank you. I mean, I'm planning for the travel. You're like, but your car. Dude, that's just, come on. It's already taken care of. Why? Because it's not real. Whatever it is. It probably needs some juice or something. Spoken like a true female driver. It just needs some juice or something. It needs some kitty cat juice. Shut up! Ugh. This is way more fun than driving around town. Alright, anyway. Let's see. You need to take a mental break. You might need to do it sooner than later. And especially on a Friday then. Dude, I was all insensitive about Bobby. I was like, just tell your family you're going to get a pack of cigarettes and never come back. Such a cunt. I was having fun. I didn't really mean it. He doesn't even smoke cigarettes. Sounded great though, right? I don't know what you gotta do, bro. You just gotta do it. And there's no way it's gonna be... You can't... Are you gonna sneak out in the middle of the night? Or are you gonna tell them to their face? This is not gonna go well. I mean, there's this thing. What are they showing me? The pass? It's a card. It's a pass that you get to fucking... Okay, whatever. I don't know what kind of card games you play in your relationship. Alright. Transitions might be necessary, but they can also often be difficult. The process of changing from one state of being or environment to another can cause friction, but you can also see it as a good time of letting go of your past burdens. And that's it too. You better run away and not look back. This is exactly what it comes with, bro. You get the tower, and then you get this, you have to walk in it. I explained all of this in my earlier video. It's a new truth. And then you have to walk in it. And face the future clearly, honestly, and positively, and write about it here. And that's it. It's like, that you need to walk away from a person, place, or thing. Reversal. The reverse 6 has a meaning similar to that of the upright. It reveals a need to escape, but your plans are delayed, and certain problems need to be resolved before you can be free. Yeah, I gotta fix my car, I'll be. I don't know if it's really that serious. I'm serious. This has happened before, and I just didn't push it. I didn't push it to see what would happen. Check that your intentions are sound and keep your plans realistic. You may feel frustrated now by a lack of progress, but stay focused and grounded, and your time will come. What are some things you need to address before you can move forward? And that's it. I thought it was fine. I drove it on the highway. It was okay. I don't know. Something. And that's it. And then what? As soon as we address it, we're on the road again. Where are we going? I don't know. Getting the fuck out of Dodge. Alright. This means actual travel, but it's actual state of mind where you leave that state of being. They're like, alright, I'm not gonna think like that anymore. I have to, yeah. Yeah, let's keep going. Alright, this fucking card. The Seven of Swords. I just want to point out, in this one, this is Loki. This is the whole story about Loki. And he ends up killing his brother Baldur, and he's a fuckhead. And so that's what this card is about, sneakiness. Alright, the common name for the Seven of Swords is the Thief. The message is to protect your belongings and property. In general, we can think of this as a potential transgression. You might encounter a challenge to your position, an individual invading your space, or in a relationship, a selfish partner who takes too much emotionally, or at worst, defrauds you. As the Suit of Swords relates to intellect, you'll need your instincts and your wits to discover the truth. The Seven can also show legal problems and unfair or fraudulent business dealings. Yeah, these bastards. These bastards. And she put it in a text message. That's the thing. She put it in writing, bro. She lied in writing. And she had no receipts or nothing, bro. And in essence, yeah, I could go to civil court and say whatever. I could get my car evaluated right now and say they did it. And you know what I mean? And go off of all of this. Or I could just say, God's going to get you. That's exactly what I did. It's like, God's going to get you for this. Alright. Other than possessions, what can be stolen? Do you feel less guilty or less culpable? Do you feel less guilty? Alright. Other than possessions, what can be stolen? What's stolen? Time? Energy? Where's my time? Where's my energy? And stuff, I mean, you know, maybe somebody stole my Cadillac converter or something. I mean, seriously, who knows? Everybody, I've seen shit like that, dude. In Mexico, they'll steal, like, your doorknobs and shit. Like your faucets, like your... the weirdest shit. It's worth money. Like, they'll steal your copper wires and shit. I've seen some ghetto-ass shit, bro. As far as thievery goes. Honesty is always the best policy, except when it's not. There are times when stealth is better than option. What? But not everybody is going to agree with that. Are there times when you were less than honest? Yeah, I totally lied yesterday. I kept my daughter from school and I had to call in and I didn't know what to say and I panicked and I was like, I lied for you, bro. She's like, you lie all the time. I was like, no, I don't. I did. I kept her home. I was like, oh, fuck. Yep. Anyways, told little white lies or lied by omission, and what came afterwards? I don't know. The guilt. What did I say? I was like, yeah, she's ill. I was like, I wasn't lying because you're ill. There's something wrong with you. And we had a laugh. But that's what I said. They're like, why isn't she coming in on page 123? I was like, she's ill. That's what I told them. She's ill. She didn't feel well. She was ill. I mean, I didn't tell him I didn't feel like fighting her and she needed a day off. I didn't make up a story and say she was having a period day. I didn't say anything. I said she's ill. In essence, did I lie? No, there's something wrong with her. She's ill. Alright, the reverse 7 shows a tendency to give up rather than to take a stand. It may feel unnatural to you to think like an opponent or to anticipate their next moves. But this attitude will help you defend what is yours. This particularly applies to work. The reverse 7 can show legal problems and business dealings. So be aware of unscrupulous people. I told you, unscrupulous people. Hey, that sounds fun. That sounds like something you could say with fun, like unscrupulous people. I don't know. I like it. I liked how it rolled off my lips. Unscrupulous people. That's what they were, dude. I've been dealing with them all week. Fucking Wolfman showed his scruples or lacks of unscruples. That's what I said, dude. And so did she. Sophie showed hers. The fucking mechanic shows theirs. Everybody's showing their ass, bro. They're all out there with their ass showing. Fucking Russ. Oh, God, dude. Who's next? Oh, God. Oh, God. That's why I was like, you know, shut up. What is it? It's really their truly self. They're assholes. And, you know, that's fucked up. I mean, you can see how much I give a shit. And they want me to, like, he's an asshole. Already he was showing so much arrogance and so much fucking ego and such boastfulness and pride. He really just blew out. He didn't just do it, dude. He mocked me. He mocked my lifestyle. of being a priestess, a humbled ass, fucking broke ass, you know, welcome to the Players Club. Shut up! I was a stripper too at the Players Club in Denver. Don't even talk about that. But going back to it, how'd you know? I don't know. I pulled up to pick someone up and I got all the flashback memories of me riding the pole in there. And I knew how the whole design of that was. And I saw memories. It's like, oh my god, I was a stripper. I fell in love with... Yeah, I was a stripper. Crazy, right? There's all kinds of shit I've done in my life. But going back to it, this pompous asshole, he acted like he was all spiritual and holy than thou and shit. And he is the whole ass devil. Damn, dude, I got another devil over here. And he's easier to deal with. Your pompous ass. You guys are pompous. Oh my god. Becky. Is that Eminem? Swear to god, you fucking... Never mind. Moving on. Are you tired, bud? Hey. The verse Kevin... Yeah, anyways, they're fucking unscrupulous peoples. Who would like to who would you like to take a stand against? Not... I told him that. I was like, are you gonna take a stand? Stan the man? I like to take a stand against, and if you could say anything you wanted to them, what would it be? If you could be me, what would you do? If I ruled the... I mean, you have to stand up. Dude, all of these people are suffering over the elevator situation. The people that clock in, the 5, 6, however many people, plus the fucking people, all the people that work here, all the people don't give a shit about us, the people. We're the ones doing these stairs, bro. I'm doing a lot of stairs, bro. And I did them today. I was like, these stairs even bother you? He's like, yeah. I was like, let me tell you where they bother me. So after the second one, I was like, it's the inside of my kneecaps, this little muscle right here. And then after the third row of stairs, I was like, and then it's the outside of my thighs right here. I feel it burning right there. And then by the time I get up to the fifth, it's just my lungs. I can't breathe. I can tell you exactly what's hurting me. And I just want to point out, Sagittarius and Jupiter, all of that is attached to the hips and thighs. My thighs don't lie. It's all part of the, you know, that's my power and shit. Those are my powers. Thunder thighs and all that. It all goes together. Did you know that? No, you don't, because you're an arrogant asshole. Who am I talking to? Whoever this applies to. Don't be so egotistical. And your scruples. In the sense of the mask comes down, dude. People try to pretend like they're something, and then you see that they're not really who they say they are. And you're like, oh my god! Yeah, it's fucking Friday. They're gonna fucking, yeah. They're fucking gonna get their mask pulled down. And then you're sitting there like, this bitch. Don't be this bitch. Don't be this bitch. I love this bitch. This is a hilarious bitch. Why? Because I've been that bitch. Don't be that bitch. What's the 8 of Swords? Shows you feeling trapped. It commonly reveals problems in careers and intellectual or mental realm. Hemmed in and unhappy, you may find it impossible to do your work satisfactorily due to the unreasonable demands or disorganized management. The 8 commonly shows someone who is in a role that doesn't suit them. You can release yourself from the bonds, but it will take determination. You may need to ask others for support and advice. Socially, you may feel humiliated or ignored. And an additional meaning of the card is illness and incapacity, a phase of physical restriction. It's kind of funny, when I was coming in, they know I'm different. They don't know who I am and what I am. When I first came, people asked me if I was part of the staff. People kept asking me if I lived here, and I didn't understand why, and it's because they thought I was staff. They didn't know if I was staff or if I lived here. You know, everybody looks at me different, right? So I was coming in, and one of the local restaurants had dropped off enormous catered fucking amounts of sides and chicken. They're like, all the people took the chicken, but here's all the sides. I was like, my kids love the sides, but... And I'm looking at it, and I was like, damn, the kids aren't going to eat it. This is like 50 pounds of fucking mashed potatoes, 60 pounds of fucking mac and cheese. I can't take this up there. That's just such a waste. And I don't want to carry it up those fucking stairs. And the guy's like, are you waiting on housing? In the sense of, do you live here? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I've seen you around. You're the one with the headphones, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, you're different. I was like, I'm not of this world. He's like, I didn't mean it like that. I was like, no, I'm a high priestess. I live here, but I'm not of this world. I'm here by choice. God put me here. Meaning, yeah, I don't have a home, but at the same time, if he tells me, if you know what I mean, like, I'm okay just going out and camping in the woods. Like, I'm a weirdo. I'm like totally cool. I'm ready to get all that shit together and get the fuck out of here. I'm ready to go spend my summer next to a creek, cooking fucking burgers and, making fires and shit. fucking washing my clothes in the fucking river and fucking, you know what I mean, all that crazy shit. I'm cool. You're like, what? Yeah, I'm not like you. I'm like totally an ancient being, just, you know, stuck in this stupid ass evolutionized world of, you know, of the digital world that doesn't make any sense to me. You guys have sex dolls and weird stuff and are on the internet begging and shit. And so anyways, in that moment, he's like, you know, I'm trapped here because I choose to be here. He asked me if I'm waiting on housing. I guess. Not from you. Are they going to provide me a house? Do you believe they will? Do you believe that's why I'm here? Do you think that God's going to keep me here that long? That he won't give me a house before then? Do you think this is my only way to get a house? Or this is my housing for now? Best case scenario, right? Let me explain how this works. Best case scenario, if I got a job and I started in 2 weeks' time, and I got a paycheck 2 weeks after that, and then another paycheck 2 weeks out of that, then I could go up to them and I could say, okay, I'm ready. They can pay for first month's rent and deposit, and that's it. Okay, but did I get a job that can pay for the rent going after that? No. You can't afford a rent on one income here. So in essence, if I do all that, then the next thing I need is wraparound housing services, which I'm going to need low income, right? So that's going to mean I'm going to have to be put on waiting list, and that's why most of these residents are here. They're waiting to get into housing. They have jobs. They've been sitting here just stacking, waiting for a house to open because they can't afford one on their own. So they have to have subsidized living, where it's like, you know, that's just how it is. So in essence, he asked me if I'm waiting on housing. That could take literally months and months and months and months. I could be stuck here for months waiting on housing. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that. Is this a real system? Really, it is. Can I break it? Can I make it? Yeah, if I got 2 jobs, I could make this work. But then I would have to give up my career and my family, my mental health, any kind of emotional health or self-care, and all of that. It's very simplistic in the math. It's very simplistic in the math. We can look up the cost of living versus minimum wage, times that, times, you know what I mean? Best case scenario, and you're not going to get 40 hours a week because of that, they're going to have to give you health care insurance. Or maybe he canceled that, Trump canceled that in his whatever. They might be offering 40 hours a week, but typically they wouldn't because they would have to offer you health care along with those 40 hours. So they kept you at 30 hours a week, right? And so 30 hours a week at $15 an hour is $450. $450 times 2 is what? 900. 900 times 2 is what? 1,800. A typical apartment, a single one-bedroom apartment in Denver is going to run you about $1,200. I have 2 children. We're not supposed to fit in 1 bedroom. But even if we did find that $1,200, $1,100, right? We get that. You're not including taxes. You're not talking about anything. We're talking about $1,800. That's without taxes. As a mother, they're not going to take as much out of mine, so they're going to take probably $60 to $80 out of each paycheck, right? So they're not taking too much of my taxes, but we're still talking about gas and transportation. We're still talking about phones and those. We're not even talking about the apartment itself, but then you're also going to have to pay for electricity, right? Not typically water if it's an apartment. It's going to be covered in there. But you're going to have to pay for electricity and any of your internet needs, and then your other, you know, mobile devices and all of that. Do the math. Plus gas and food. Making that kind of income, you're not eligible for, you know what I mean? Not really. You're not eligible for any kind of outside sources. So think about this. I need a second income. You can't do it off for 30 hours a week. right? So that's a second job, but that's also more gas. You know what I mean? More transportation, more time, all of this. That's still taking away from what? Teenagers, bro. Teenagers. Teenagers. I'm leaving teenagers alone constantly to provide for teenagers. What happens when teenagers are unsupervised? Yeah, bro, anything can happen. So in the essence, it's like, where you are is where you want to be, only because of your state of mind. I see this as a blessing for where I'm at. But in the essence, this is holding me back. Why? Because they're not my answer. If I follow their protocol, there's still little to no success. Why? It's not them. It's not them. It's the market itself, which is the housing market, versus we still do not know what's on my actual renter's credit. We haven't ran that, you know what I mean? We don't know what's on my rental's credit, so if I have an eviction. But secondly, it's the actual income, right? So I have to be making more per hour. And by doing that, that excludes me from any kind of food stamps and medical coverage, which my jobs won't offer me. Well, I mean, obviously not food stamps, but they're not offering me enough money to eat. This is weird for you guys, I'm sure. I can feel it. That most of you don't live in this world where that this doesn't apply to you. If I didn't have kids, I could be someone's roommate. You know what I mean? I could afford to pay $600 to $900 a month for a roommate position where I just had a room and a shared house with facilities and shit like that. But because I have kids, they need, you know what I mean? People won't move in that, and you add the dog. Let's not even talk about the dog. If the dog wasn't an emotional support animal, then you have all those fucking fees. You know what I mean? It's realistic. You guys just don't realistically know how it's working down here. You might probably be in, you know, whatever situation it is. But the largest cost for people, for humans, for low income all the way up to your income, is the cost of living, which is your dwelling. The monopoly that's happening with the market is what's causing homelessness. It's what's causing people to not be able to meet their needs. It costs too much to keep a roof over your head. That's the problem. And the jobs don't pay enough for you to keep a roof over your head. It's true. Do the math, bro. So even if I got a job, this is $5 more than what minimum wage is. We'll say $20 an hour, right? I'm getting a $20 an hour job, which those are the ones I'm searching for, 20 and up, 21 and up, right? Do the math. That's still 600 times 2, that's 12, that's 2,400. It can be done, but again, take into all those factors that I just told you about. It's hard, it's competitive, is what it is. And that's putting myself right back into the rat race. I didn't break out. And that's why it's like, I know I'm in the in-between because I don't know yet how to break the system, which is create a different way of living, because it's no way to live. That system is going to crash, and it's happening all the time. People are upping their HOA fees, and the rent goes up every single year, you know what I mean? Electricity is becoming more expensive. Then there's other, you know what I mean, all of this stuff. They switch hands, all of it. It just continues to go rise and rise. The problem is your pay doesn't rise with these costs. They're not paying you more. People that are even on salary pay they were making $5,000 every 2 weeks, or whatever the case may be. They were living comfortable until the cost of living became more. And even the comfortable are uncomfortable now. Us that could find ways to survive, our survival techniques are being pushed to the absolute limits. And because we have less pride and we have more resources from our climb up, we're able to go back to those resources where there's people on the top that are losing their position, that are going to have to discover resources and lose loss of pride to begin with. simplistic things like food banks. It's real. I don't know if you guys have looked into housing. Like, I tell you, you know what I mean? Like, there's a real generation of us people that are living nomadic because the system has broke us, and we're fully aware that going back into this system is not going to help us. That we are literally have to find an alternative way of life that works for us. One of my favorite ways is, I look on Facebook. It's called car camping. I didn't know that was even a thing. And these are people all over the U.S. that are doing it. It's stealth. They're living out of their cars, people. You could say, you know what I mean, that you could say that the generation of homelessness is spreading, but we're evolving with our situation. We're becoming more creative. We're finding new ways to live, to evolve with this thing that's happening. This fall of the structure. You know what I mean? And as uncommon as you think it is, it's becoming more and more common. And it's not because it's a lifestyle we originally chose. We found peace in this lifestyle when we were forced to give up the life we had. Nobody wanted to, we all started somewhere. We all had a roof over our heads. And it was an inability to maintain that got us here for all different reasons. And my story is different. I can look every single person in the face and say, I sacrificed mine. I gave it up according to God. I stopped working and I started trusting and I started working with faith. And that's it. When He wants me to work, He provides me work and stuff like that, but I work for God. I did exactly what He says. That's what brought me here. And if that's not okay and you want to put me out your doors, He's going to bring me somewhere else. And that's just really it. It's like He's, this is just a resting place. But it can be, hell. I'm never going to get out of here. I'm never going to get a job. And that's where I kind of get a little upset. It's like, fuck. When you put it all on yourself, no, you're powerless to this, bro. I'm powerless to this. I'm powerless to what's happening with my car. And, I can only put in applications. I can only call. I can only do so much. You know what I mean? But in the essence, you don't have power. You want power and security, but we're not fully secure. We're being uprooted fully in all different areas of our lives, our relationships and shit like that. Our foundations were built on bullshit. And they're crumbling. You know what I mean? Like Atlantis, the technology, our evolution to become the most powerful and best, through technology has actually crushed us. As it keeps growing, we keep dying. It's crushing us. The system is crushing us, the people that created it. You can see that in every area, as far as politics, as far as the education system, as far as healthcare, as far as anything. The very system we created is crushing us. The lives we've made are crushing us. What do? You walk away and find another way of life in humility and understand that there are billions of us that are having to find a new way of life. Whether you're in the Middle East and your country's under war and they just blew up your town, these people have to keep living. God's got to give them food. They've got to, you know what I mean? That war that's been going on over there with the fucking Russians, that's been going on for like nearly 4 years now. All those people that aren't getting killed have to find new ways of life. There's no homes to go back to. You know what I mean? Down to everything that's happening. All these people that are losing jobs through our government. Everything that's happening around the world. It's forcing us to find a new way of life. Very humble-like, too. And then there's those that want to, hold on to their position on the top. All-powerful. While the rest of it, why it all falls. Not realizing that they're standing on, quicksand. And that's what the California fire showed. All these people of power and authority watched their fucking dreams and hopes and all their hard work go into ash. And then God washed it away. The tornadoes that come takes away your livelihood, towns, all this destruction, exactly what they said in the end times. Everything. Wiping it away, all everything. The way of life. Why? So we can start a new way of life. Not go back to our old ways that'll lead us to the same shit. Know that. Wherever you are right now, it's because you choose to be there. For whatever, it's your mindset. You have your reasons why you are where you are. Write them down. Why do you live where you live? Why do you work where you work? Why do you date who you date? Why are your friends your friends? And watch how desperate those answers come out. Now empower yourself to walk away. In what ways do you feel stuck? And where do you feel more cornered in your life? Some traps we set ourselves, but the good news is that those can be the easier ones to deal with once we find them. What might be some of these personal traps you've set? Alright, reversed. The 8 retains much of its upright meaning, except that often accompanied by guilt, anger, and regret. This is all my fault. What am I going to do? I'm never going to be able to get out of this. It's likely you express these feelings in negative ways because you're so frustrated. This phase won't last, so try not to lash out at whoever is closest and write your feelings here. And this is it too. This is all my fault. If I wouldn't have took this fucking car to that motherfucker, none of this would have happened. Hey, bro. I'm just caught up in a fucking storyline. God did this just to show you his power and show you, make it, it's just part of a story. It's just an experience. But that's how I felt. If I wouldn't have even fucking did anything with this car, none of this would have happened. I'd have all this money and none of these problems. I spent a lot of money and got a lot of problems out of this. And there wasn't really a problem, bro. Like I said, all I was doing was giving it antifreeze. I can say this is all my fault and throw a big fit and blame myself. Or I could just chop it up to experience. I fucked around and found out. I felt like I had to make a decision, and this is what I felt I needed to do. And looking at the bigger picture and how it aligned, that the whole week turned out to be like this, I know I didn't make the wrong decision. I was guided into destruction. Okay. Sometimes it's just that way, bro. You wish that they were guiding you, somewhere far above the rainbow. Nah, bro. You done took me. Let me tell you what God did with me. And that's where the devil is taking dominion over my life. That would be God. I'm gonna fucking talk to him. Anyways, so try not to lash out at whoever is close and write your feelings here. And that's it. My son's in the car and shit. I'm like, I'm not gonna lash out. I'm not gonna freak out. I'm not gonna do what I always do and freak out. Just gonna drive us back and we'll wait till Amelia gets off and figure it out. I'm not. In the sense of, you want to have all control, and, I guess maybe I would, who cares? I don't know. I don't care. You have to care. And that's what comes next, dude, is when you care too much, then you end up right here. If you don't act, then you end up right here. Case of worry. The 9 of Swords shows you dealings with high levels of anxiety. External events may trigger the initial stress, but the issue now is how are you responding to it? And that's it. It's all about your response. Everything's going to stress you out if you're stressed. If you have high stress levels, bro. You know what I mean? I have high blood pressure. Breathe. They're like, I can't breathe. Breathe. And that's what it is. You're very bothered until you're unbothered. You have to work through this. And that's what I mean. This is just an endurance test. They're just fucking with me like they're always fucking with me. God's always fucking with me. He wants to see what I'm going to do, how fucking bad I'm going to act up in my childish ways, so that way I can look at them and heal them and understand them and be better. That's all that means. Did you hear me say blame myself and guilt myself and chastise myself and cut myself? Nah, bro. But you get to this place of worry. How are you going to react, This card indicates the habit of worry. You may be worrying about inconsequential things that usually don't warrant your attention. Thankfully, this is a minor card. The pattern is temporary. In work, the 9 can show feelings of overwhelmed. You simply have too much to do. The card occasionally shows mental health issues associated with anxiety, such as a panic disorder, depression, insomnia, and nightmares. It's stress to the highest level, bro. You're taking on the world. The world is crushing you. What does that mean? Your outside world has consumed your mind, and you're all consumed by the outcome of what's going to happen. Where does worry come from? The concern? It's a concern. You're concerned about something. So concerned that it's stressing you out. It's giving you anxiety. It's making you depressed. You're giving it all your attention to where it's draining you, and you're getting, in return, you're getting what they call are these feelings. I'm not even going to think about my car right now. It's kind of disassociation, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not going to, when I'm ready, I will face it. But right now, there's nothing to face. It's just acting up, and I didn't need it right now anyways. You know what I mean? And that's it when you choose your battles wisely. Now, as far as worry, I can be seriously worried about this. I can over-exaggerate this in my head, that it's the transmission, that it's the fuel injector, that it's, I don't fucking know, bro. I can really freak this out, that my car is going to blow, and, I don't know. I can really create this madness in my head of worst-case scenarios about my current situation. Or I can just understand that God's challenging me and He's going to help me get through this situation. But when you don't know that something's going to help you get through the situation, you don't know that the situation will pass, you can't see a way out of it, you're filled with the worst of feelings. You're consumed by a situation that's beyond your control probably, or one that you're not taking control in because you're consumed by the fear. That's pretty bad too. And that's why I said, I can't not act. You know what I mean? I don't have regrets. I can look back on how I acted and want to be better, apologize and stuff. I don't have regrets. Every action is a chance to, you know what I mean, become wiser and master, you know what I mean, myself. So, talking about, you know what I mean, worrying and stuff, it's like, I can ask you what you're worried about, and you're going to tell me bills. I'm worried about not having enough. Okay, how often do you not have enough and things work out? Is this your first time not having enough? What don't you have enough for? I'm worried I'm not going to have enough for this. Okay. Is there something that we can take away? Can we take away from something else to put into this? You know, there's some logical ways to walk through this the first couple times. Hello.
So, like, say to tell you guys in this when you're leaving, turn the tap off because they turn it on soon.
The water?
Yeah.
Turn off the water?
Off.
Oh, it wasn't on.
Oh.
But start turning it on or no?
No, turn it off, but they will turn it on later on. So if you're not there, you lose it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's not on right now?
No, not yet.
Okay.
They will today.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, thank you. Okay. They turn off the water, but they don't want you to leave the spouts open and then leave because then you're going to flood some shit. I don't know if anybody's going to get that message, and that's just another problem that we don't need. Sounds like a tower. What happened? I called the city, bro. They said that there was fucking water flooding. I told you, this is my fault. I want my elevators. What's wrong with my elevators? They went into the elevator fucking shaft and they found all kinds of water. It's leaking from the pipes. The city had to come and fix the pipes. The city is still currently working on our pipes, but they had to turn off the water. These are good signs, but there's a consequence for doing this. So now we can't flush the toilets, brush our teeth. We don't got no water. But we might have elevators. And that's it. Tit for tat, bro. Sacrifices must be made. In the essence of, it was my fault. But pretty soon we'll have water and an elevator, hopefully. In the essence, nobody was coming if I didn't, call for help. And that's it. Going back to this. Is there a predominant worry in your life? What are you worried about? What are you worried about? I don't know. Come back tonight with your Q&As and I'll tell you how to get over that. Write it down and tell exactly how it makes you feel. All right? What am I worried about? At this moment, I don't have any worries. If I think about something I'm scared of, I can create worries around it. Your worry has no limit. Some things can be real, but others may just be anxieties or figments of your imagination. Separate the real from the imagined by writing about your worries here. So something simplistic like I fear, I'm not worried about anything. Why aren't you stressing? Because it's not my problem. Like, all of these are your problems. They're not problems. They're just challenges that God keeps putting upon me. And in essence, would you like to put in the comments what I should do about my problems? Do you want to get me a job? You want to tell me where to live? You want to fix my car problems? Live your life, dude. I just don't look at them as problems, dude. They're just not opportunities, but they're just experiences. Are you ever gonna have a home? Yeah, bro. When? I don't know. As long as I have a roof over my head and the things that we need for today, and that's all that you can be given to. I can't expect anything more than what Jesus got when you live the Jesus walk, bro. But and that's why I'm so grateful for all the extras that he does do in relations to my children. I'm very humbled in this shit. I don't really need shit. I mean, in essence, I could literally fucking fast for 40 days like Jesus. I did it my first fast. I don't need food. Cigarettes, some weed, fucking air, some water. I'm fine. My kids need a lot, you know, and we gotta meet the needs of, you know, legal needs and shit like that. But it's like, I don't stress this, dude. God has the answers. I don't have the answers. Trying to find the answers of this world all by myself will leave me stressed. It says that. Give it to him. It's really a thing, bro. But that's it. It's like you're taking ownership over it, meaning what am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. So I have to be like, God, what are you going to do about this? What do you want me to do? And you wait for that answer. And you look at me like, what are you going to do? I don't know what to do about my car. I'm waiting till God tells me what to do, and the only thing I know is to go talk to Homeboy when I see him. I'm not going to start knocking on doors. I don't know where he lives. I see him usually in the mornings. That means it's toast. That will be tomorrow. Well, he'll push my limits tomorrow on a Saturn day when reality will hit, and I'll be filled with grief, and he'll push my limits when this guy opens up my car and tells me. Or it doesn't even exist, and then tomorrow it was just a figment of today's trials and tribulations to teach you how to overcome the mind. Again, they're just stupid experiences. Some of them are real, some of them are like fucking literally figments of my imagination. And I told you that, dude. I didn't drive my car for 6 months because I thought something was wrong with the transmission. Nobody said that, I just said that. And I walked in it, and I believed it, and I kept myself trapped, not going anywhere, until somebody else told me a new reality, and I walked in that, and it was fine. So right now I'm just walking in the reality that it needs to chill, and I'll check, and that's it. I haven't created this ultimate, oh my God, reality for myself. But when it gets to it, it's still going to be that question. I'm not going to say, what am I going to do? Because that's what it was too. When I looked at the mechanic, he's like, I looked at him, I said, what am I supposed to do? He said, oh, well, you could leave it here and I could get the parts and like, I'm going to have to order the parts. I said, I can't do that. That's not what I can do. That's what it was. It's like, what can I do about this situation? I can't do anything. You're going to fix this because you did this. You did this. And that's what it was. It's like, if this was in my fault, and that's it too. It's like, I am responsible for something else that is fucked up on my car. I'm fully aware of that, and I'm scared of that. But in the essence, I will take full responsibility for that. I did that. This, you did. And that's just kind of where it is. It's like, God, you did this, bro. You got to do something. And then you believe that he will, and he'll show you a way out. You could think and think and think and... Christian, is that you? I heard something scary. Hold on a second. Is that you? Is that you? Was that you? Don't make noises like that. That scared the shit out of me. That was a scary noise, maybe. I must have died on this little game or whatever. You can stress yourself out taking on the whole world like it's all on your shoulders and you need to, I don't know what I'm going to do. You gotta rely on the universe and God. You gotta understand there's something out there looking out for you and you've got to know about it and you got to turn to it. Because, you know, sometimes there's nobody to call either. That's your 911, bro. That's Jesus. And let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Worry has no limit. Yeah, the reverse 9 means the meaning is more extreme than its upright counterpart. Despair, guilt, or feeling trapped. But it is the lowest point of the cycle, and the feelings will begin to shift. Be patient and compassionate with yourself, and turn to others for support. Write some advice to yourself, but make it tender and compassionate, as if you were writing to a dear friend. I used to have these moments all the time, waiting on God. I would panic right before he'd show up. I'd break. I knew he would be there right after I did it, but I'd panic and start crying. God, you always put me in this place, and I don't know what I'm going to do, and why do you always do this to me? I have no idea what I'm going to do. And I'd cry myself into an extreme, take a deep breath, and right after, he'd come through. I realized that that was almost like the part of it. Like he broke me. As soon as I would break, I knew he would be there because of that. I knew that. It was almost like, why was I holding it in if I knew he would come right after when I cried like that? He'd be right there. That was the most common. And that's why I was like, let him bring you to your knees. He's always there for that. But I realized that. And sometimes I realized I don't need to cry. It's going to come at that last minute. Just hold out. I learned that too. It's like, he didn't come because I was crying. He came because I was crying because it was the last minute and I didn't know where he was. But it wasn't the full last minute, and that's when he comes. My pattern was warranted in the sense of I've held out until the last minute. God, I don't know what I'm going to do now. Right? And that's when I cried to him because there's no more time. And that's when he shows up. If I would have not cried, he still would have showed up because he knew there was no more time. And I try to tell people he waits to the last goddamn minute. Why? Because that's when you need him most, is in that moment. But trying to make it to that moment, waiting for him, you're going to cry and worry. And that's where the faith comes in, and you know what I mean, the obedience and the self-discipline. He's coming. He's coming. This isn't a person, bro, that's not going to come. This is God, bro. If you put your faith in him and you know he's going to rescue you, in realistic terms, bro, he's not a sugar daddy, that he will give you a way out. That's what he will do. He's not going to solve all your problems. He'll give you a way out of your problems. If you believe in him, you will receive him. And that's what this all is all about, is like, you know what I mean? All this magic is, you know, putting your intentions, your faith, your belief, all of your emotions into one belief system and, you know, a manifestation, and it actually comes true. I don't manifest shit, bro. God does it all. I tell you all the fucking time. He showed me it, so it came true because I believed in it. Where'd the idea come from? Him. I wasn't thinking about it. It wasn't something of my mind that I wanted. He showed me it, and then I wanted it. He gave me the desire. He gave me the will, and he gave me the power. There's so many things that are out of our control that we try to control. Something simplistic is my children. I don't have control. I can only guide them. I can only guide them, bro. I can't control them. And when they realize that, it's done. And that's the same thing as you and your relationships, your jobs, and shit like that. They can't control the customers. They can't control anything. You know what I mean? You don't know that yet. But they'll get a point where you realize you never had control. You don't control your dog. You guide your dog. Or your dog guides you, depending on, you know what I mean? In essence, you don't control your dinner. You don't control your appetite. You don't control your desires, dude. They guide you. What are you worried about? What's out of your control that you're trying to have control about is what this card really needs to be asked. What are you trying to control that you can't control? And it's making your body, it's making your emotions uncontrollable. This is that fuck it card. Let it go and give it to God. Give the control to a higher power and believe in it. Plant the seed. All right, God, this is my first time ever coming to you. I don't even know how to do this. This bitch says, sorry, this chick says that you can help me pay this bill, or you're gonna help me figure this out. I don't know what to do, God. I'm gonna do what she says, and I'm gonna trust you. I believe in you, God. Please help me and my family. Amen. And wait. He won't forsake you. It's not about religion, it's about nothing, bro. As I say this, I'm crying because I know he won't let you down. But you gotta give him a chance, bro. He's invisible, but he's very visible. Confirmation. He's real. If you let him be real in your life and you let him really work, bro. It's so simplistic, and that's why I'm so annoyed with him, because he's everything in my life. Not a person. He doesn't walk around in a gown or nothing like that. It's the way he moves through my life. Like, what are you doing in my car right now, God? You're in my engine. Quit fucking with my engine, God. What are you doing? That's him. Or maybe an archangel, a demon, whatever. It's him, ultimately, pushing me. But it's also him that's telling me to calm down. Stay calm. It's also him reminding me that he's got me. You know what I mean? It's him in everything. The good and the bad. Oh, here comes my daughter taking pictures and shit. So your worries, they say that. Give him your burdens. That's what that means. Alright, let's move on. I'm going to stop after this next card because I'm going to... She's sending me all kinds of pictures from the dance. Mind you, remember, you have to catch the videos. She said she wasn't going to the dance. Can you believe her? Can you believe this shit? I'm telling you. Alright. If you don't give up, this is where you're going to end up. If you don't give up this worrying and this battle, this is where you're going to end up. Traditional meaning of the Ten of Swords is ruin. While this sounds frightening, it doesn't mean death or destruction. This ending clears the way for new possibilities. In your personal life, bonds of friendship may break. You may see that certain people in a group were causing discord and stress. In love relationships, the 10 signifies a dramatic ending. In work, this may manifest as a closure of a departure or a failing business. More positively, this is an end of an era. Soon, the stride and upset will be over. Health issues such as low energy and exhaustion will improve. All right, is there someone in your life is there someone in your life who has hit a low point? What are some ways you might be able to help them? I mean, it depends on what you have to offer. Some people have, you know what I mean, time and energy. Some people have resources. Some people have, we all have something we can offer. Things may look dark. When dealt a serious blow, it can be easy to lose hope. But you're still standing. Now is a time for rebuilding, so write your plan here. And that's it too, you know, when a business falls apart, friendships, you know what I mean? Shit just does that, bro. It's like we've been friends for 15 years. Okay. And you had some great times, but now you no longer agree. You no longer vibe. You're no longer on the same mentality. You guys act different. You think differently. You want different things in life. Accept this ending, bro. Accept the great times that you had, but that it's time to go in different directions. And maybe one day, you know what I mean, you'll circle back around and like fucking, I don't know, high school reunion or something. The reverse 10 holds the meaning of the upright card, but indicates there may be more repercussions. You may examine your past and feel guilty or angry and react more deeply to a fallout. Try not to hold on to the stress. Accept the situation and let go. The card can also show feeling helpless. Write about a past hurt that still bothers you. With each word, commit to letting it go. Oh, this is a good one. Here's a trigger before we go. What bothers me? I'm very unbothered right now. It's just a mindset that I'm in. I was bothered by the situation that I was dealing with Oscar. The whole situation I found bothersome. Why? Because it wasn't, I had, and that's where it is. It's like, I had my reasons to not want to go with this flow. And it's all justified. And that's it. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like, I realized that I was right. God was right and I was right. He was right to make me, you know what I mean, take this journey with you because it made me better. God, I gotta remember to play that stupid song. That fucking Neo song, Make Me Better, keeps coming up. I keep forgetting to play it. If I play it, it'll get out of my head. Anyways, I didn't want to go with the flow of you. And I kept fighting it, but then, just like Bobby, I didn't want to I didn't want to meet up with Bobby. I didn't want to go with the flow of this because I knew it wasn't, you know what I mean, going to work out well. But when it's all said and done, it worked out just fine. In a sense, I have no hard feelings. You were exactly what I feared and what I thought you were to be, and that's justifiable in the sense of how I acted with you. But even in my actions with you, I did better than I acted with anybody else. So, I feel grateful for the situation. And that's what I mean, is like, fuck, that situation with Bobby was really harsh, bro. I ran from him, and I ran from him, and I ran from him, and I fucking ran from him. And I finally met up with him. And it ended up being just, the same fucking karmic trash that I did last time with him. But it was a sense of absolute pleasure, completion, gratification, in the sense of, no, I didn't come or anything like that, but in the sense of I was grateful for the fact that I was brave enough to do what I didn't want to do, and I was grateful that it's over, that no matter what, it ended, you know what I mean, because in the sense of, where would it have gone from there? Not to a healthy place. And that's what it is, seeing you, Oscar, and knowing that your intentions are all, of this world, that's not a bad thing, bro. You don't have to shove it in my face. It's just, I'm not the girl of this world. There's plenty, the whole world is of this world. I'm the one being that's not. Nuns don't usually, you know what I mean? You don't see me as a nun. I'm telling you, I'm a priestess. And that's it. It's like, do you talk to all priestesses like that? In the essence of, it's not a bad thing, bro. Go live your life and shit. And that's what it is. It's like, I tried to show Russ, and Russ just tried to show me. No, my life is perfect, and I love my life, and I'm happy. No, all you're doing is showing me that you're not, and you're just shoving what I don't like in my fucking face. And you think that I'm gonna like it, I'm gonna envy it, I'm gonna be jealous of it. Get out of my face with this. And all he was doing was, triggering my wounds and shit. Like, where I used to desire these things, and yeah, you're right, it hurts not to have these things. But, all you're doing is making me stronger in my resolve to let go of such things. Showing me there's no fucking power in it. You're showing me how sick I was, bro. That I was like you and would do anything to have possessions in my life. And look at where it got me. No, that's shit. I know what really matters. My Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Fucking douchebag. God, he totally disrespected what I do. And that's another thing, too. They don't even see me in my... Hello. Who cares what my life looks like? I'm a whole angel, bro. I am a whole goddess in this world, bro. Why does it matter what car I drive or where I live? Like, have you ever met an angel before? You need a lot of fucking demons, I guess. Alright, for anybody that's been keeping up with us, and you have your little side notes, and we keep all our little side notes, we're going to go through all of the cards. I said we would do it. So, I'm going to go through the whole suit of the swords so far. Alright, keeping up. Give you a minute to go get that pen and paper that you had. Go ahead. I'm not going to read all of them. So far, we have been through the cups, the pentacles, and the major arcanas. We're getting through the end of the swords. Then we'll talk about the wands, the fire, your willpower. How you will direct all of this in through your willpower. Alright, right now we're just talking about your mind. How you view things, how you channel your thoughts. Here we go. The ace is about success and clarity. The 2 is about stalemate and choice. 3 is about heartbreak and grief. 4 is about rest and recharge. 5 is conflict and defeat. 6 is leaving conflict behind and transitioning. 7 is about theft and deception. 8 is about restriction and feeling trapped. And the 9 is about anxiety and fears. Ending with number 10, the endings and suffering. Okay? Those are just some side notes. I gave you life stories and testaments to each card so you have an understanding. For anybody new, why do we do this? So you can read the cards. What do? We pull the cards in threes. I'll teach you that. We ask the cards where we currently are. Let me see if I can pull out a deck to do this with. Not that deck. Not that one. We'll use the quantum. What is that? I don't know. Hold on. It's just another tarot, but it's related to the quantum physics and the planets and the constellations, which is, you know, completely aligned with the fact that that's what we do all the time. We use the constellations and the energies of the planets shifting around us to go through this. So I'll take and shuffle the cards, right? We take and shuffle the cards. We ask the cards, simple question. We don't ask them about your boyfriends and everything else. Worry about yourself. Simple question. Where am I currently? Take a card. Pull the card. What is that? X. X gonna give it to you. I don't know. But there's all these cool religions and stuff. Look at. You see it right there? You see that? I don't know what that means. Somebody that actually reads tarot knows what that means. What's the X? It's a Roman numeral, some shit. I don't remember everything. Alright. It's the Wheel of Fortune. How do I know? Because I read it in Spanish. La Ruta de la Fortuna. That might not have been Spanish. Alright, so XX is Judgment. X. All my X's. The Wheel of Fortune. Quantum mechanics is an attempt to explain simply paradoxical nature of subatomic worlds. This is the fundamental experience between two types of phenomenon, waves and particles. That's what I said. This is your whole wave. I'm just a particle in your wave, bro. This is your whole fucking vibe. I just got caught up in it, dude. What blew me in? The fucking wind. Just kidding. Not really, though. A particle can only occupy a single space at any single instance in time. Waves, on the other hand, are spread out in space, like waves of water across the sea. They cannot be pinned down to a particular place and are described in terms of size and frequency, like radio waves. And that's it. This is some negative ass shit. And that's what I'm trying to explain is like, you're just riding through life. Waves of life. Some good, some bad, you're crashing, some of them are still, some of them, that's just it. But at a subatomic level, there's a difference between waves and particles. The difference between waves and particles does not apply. Subatomic particles sometimes behave like particles and sometimes like waves, depending on how they are observed. For example, light behaves like a wave. When two light sources overlap, the two light waves interfere with each other, producing ripples or interference phenomenon. Okay? That's a fucking tower. Like overlapping ripples of water in a pond. However, as Einstein pointed out, hey Einstein! That's my son, reincarnated. What are we talking about here, guy? As Einstein pointed out, light can also behave like a stream of tiny particles, photons. He proved this in the explanation of the photoelectric effect, an electric current induced by shining light on a metal plate. This can also be possible if light in a stream of a particle that hits the surface of metal. Alright, stop right there. We are made of all of the elementals, the elemental chart, so that's what all this has to do with all this. Agitating and dislodging electrons from the form. What does this all have to do with the Wheel of Fortune? Well, quantum mechanics introduces the language of chance and probability into physics. One can only claim that a subatomic particle has the probability of being a particle place in a particle time, but no more. Outside of physics, the concepts of the chance of probability are nothing new. The wheel is familiar to us in so many guises. In ancient Rome, goddess Fortuna, and that's how I know it, is the roulette wheel. It is a symbol of how perceived outside forces such as fate or luck appear to determine the course of our lives. But perhaps there is another alternative. Even if the wheel cursed by bad circumstances, we still have choices. Why not step off the wheel altogether? We can decide whether to approach life as a victim of chance, spun around by the wheel like a shock in a washing machine, or to take a big leap of awareness and get off the merry-go-round. All right. So that explained a lot of it to you. It's all fate, meaning it was destined to happen. It's not about, you deserve this and this was meant for you and this is, it was just a roll of the dice is what that means, right? Meaning this is your chance. You're the next contestant on the Wheel of Fortune. Is it really fortunate? It's just a perception. It's just a perception, truthfully. In the essence, and we were talking about it, me and my daughter, we were talking about the old people that gamble. They're like, it's always old people and they just gamble away and shit. And it's like, do you have a limit? Do you go there with an intention of, I'm only going to spend $1,000, right? So if you go in there and you spend $1,000 and then you win $900, was it worth the gamble? Did you actually win anything? And because you didn't win more than you came in with, are you going to use up all that $900 too because you totally intended to spend $1,000 before you came in? You have all intentions to spend $1,000, but if you come back with less than $1,000, are you a loser? But you already planned on spending $1,000. So you walk out with less, you're $1,000 off, then what's the problem? You didn't lose. You did exactly what you set out to do. You never went in to win. You went in with a limit of losing. Yeah, I could fuck with your head, and I'm not even Einstein. It's just a thought. And I don't play around. I go to the casinos to eat and do rituals. It's actually, casinos are on top of native land. It's not even important. Dreams die there. It's such a great thing that happens there. I love watching that. These people believe in their dreams are going to come true at the turn of a wheel, and then you watch their dreams come crashing down, and they lose all of their, sobriety and actual material wealth right there in front of you, playing a game of chance. Chances are this is going to fuck you over. How many people come out of here a millionaire? You think that the chances are in your favor? May the odds be forever in your favor. In the essence, it's chance. It's just a chance, Let's see. We can decide whether to approach life as a victim of chance, spun around the wheel like a sock in the washing machine, or to take a leap of awareness and get off the merry-go-round. And that's what I said too. That's that Eight of Swords is like, chances are, you know what I mean? And that's where you weigh this out. What are my chances? And most people won't take the risk because they don't see a reward. Well, you already went in with a losing failure to begin with, so what's the reward anyways? In the essence, in your relationship and shit, in your jobs, in your, you don't take risks because it doesn't come with reward. It's just, it's just about the adventure, taking the risk. It's not always about the reward, and you might lose something being risky, but you're living, adventurously. And as far as getting off the merry-go-round, I told you that. It's like, I'm not trying to get back into the Matrix. God kicked me out of the Matrix, and I spent all this time healing, trying to fight my mind that kept pulling me back into it. I'm not trying to get back into it. That was the whole fight, is not trying to force myself back in like Kanye, not trying to be what I was before, but allowing this evolution to happen, allowing myself to be guided into a new way of life. Have I found that full new way of life? No, we're still collecting information. We're still planting the seeds. We haven't got the utopia. I haven't won the lottery. I mean, ultimately, talking about the fucking Wheel of Fortune. What's our spiritual work at hand? What's that? Seven of Swords. Deception and lies. We just read about it. Motherfuckers. We just talked about it. This is our spiritual work, is overcoming this bastard-ass shit. I'm going to read a smaller version of this. That was the extended version. And that's a deep version. We're going to read them just these ones. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Radioactivity. The Seven of Swords is a card of scheming and strategy, representing a situation where indicates tactics are required. What do you need to approach strategically? You know what I mean? And that's my current situation. And that's it. It's like, how are you going to handle this strategically? I'm not going to do what everybody thinks I do and act up. You know what I mean? And that's it. I'm going to take it slow and just find out what it is. I'm not even sure what I'm dealing with. But you jump to the biggest conclusion, you know what I mean? It's like you get a health diagnosis and you think you're going to die. They did that to Mr. Plum. I swear to you, they did it to him. They told him that he had I don't know, stage 4 cancer, and he only had 6 months to live. They said they could start the chemo, but they couldn't make any promises. He started chemo. He's lived for, I think, 27 years now, cancer-free. During that time, he went and cashed out his 401k. He traveled to Europe. He bought, you know what I mean? He made sure that he did everything, because they told him he was going to die, bro. They told him he was going to die. He cashed out all his money, said his goodbyes, wrote his will, took some vacations, and came back to do chemo with the intention he was going to die. He's been alive for a long time, chemo-free. I mean, cancer-free. True story. But it changed his way of life, too. He lived a much humbler life. The second part of his life was far more humble and grateful. Far more. And yeah, he spent all his money. Poor guy. True story. Alright. So, and with all of that being said, Father Lord, what is the outcome? Ew. We haven't got there yet. The Page of Swords. Mercury. Ew. On page 13. The Page of Swords is an archetypical student. He represents the desire to learn through communication, reading, or formal study. What is exciting your curiosity? That's why I was going to go to this spiritual store, was to see if I could find some more information on how to try to show you more about astral traveling. I was going to try to see if I could find some more information, because I realized when I started digging up my books I didn't have much information. And that was that download that I got earlier of how to explain more of astral traveling, of how that works, and, you know, traveling through your mind. That's kind of where I was. I was looking for more information on how to teach you what I do. So, for everyone else, that's how we do it. We learn the tarot so that way we know where we currently are. Right now we just happen to be in our minds, obviously. Duh. We see what we need to work on and what is the potential outcome if we, you know, handle this properly. And that's what we use the cards for, is for spiritual growth, how to evolve in our own, you know, spirituality, how to face our emotions and stuff. We use the understanding of the elements, like knowing that if we're in our swords, we're in our mind. If we're in our cups, we're in our feelings. If we're in our wands, we're in our willpower. If we're in our pentacles, we're dealing with outside shit of this world. Our reality is fucking with us. The outside world's messing with us. That's what that kind of means. That's why I'm teaching you tarot. I want you to understand that these people don't have any psychic abilities. They just have an understanding of the cards, and they use these cards to tell stories. And most of the stories they're telling you are lies. And I want you to understand that there's no power in that. They're not devil worshippers, and they don't have any connection to anything outside of this world. They're just a pack of cards. Before they started making tarot, they used to use a 52 card deck. The reason they added tarot is because they added more cards to this journey. So the cards are nothing more than a journey through life. Same as the Bible, same as the Quran, same as everything. And, you know, after you learn this journey, you can just go back and reflect on it, because it's called the Wheel of Life. Every year you're really going through the same ass fucking reality. It's just, are you on the next level of life? They say every year you grow, but are you spiritually evolving, or you're just getting old? You've just been at your job for fucking 20 years. You haven't actually, you know what I mean, aspired to take on a new position or grown in your life. Hey, look at it. That's cool. I didn't saw the Mercury sign in the back. I'm starting to learn some of this shit. That symbol, that's the planet, Mercury planet sign. Anyways, so that's what we're doing is, you know, it's an evolution of life. And that's what, you know, the Bible teaches you, is how to overcome temptation and sin, how to get closer to God. These are all about evolutions. So, with that being said, again, I'm having a Q&A tonight at 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. You're welcome to come in. I'm just going to run it. I might read. I don't know if anybody's going to show up. I'll do other stuff if nobody else shows up. Bring some cards out. But otherwise, I'm just going to be answering questions and looking for answers for anybody that has questions about absolutely anything that you've seen me teach, or even something maybe you haven't, that you're curious, that we could start a cool conversation about something that I don't know. Go ask God for something I don't know. I love doing that. You know, so come back for that. Otherwise, we'll continue our tarot journey. Probably not tomorrow because we got shadows. We'll continue. I'll let you know. Keep up with us. That's it. Later, haters.